From bizarre misunderstandings to overzealous enforcement, people around the world have found themselves arrested for the most unexpected and strange reasons. You won't believe the last one. Public urination. In Alabama, a police officer came across a 10-year-old boy named Quintavious urinating behind his mother's car and arrested him.
Community leaders in Senatobia, Mississippi plan to organize a peaceful protest after a 10-year-old boy was detained by police for urinating in public.
Quintavious was later released without incident, and the police apologized. Farting in class. Have you ever farted in class? A 13-year-old in Florida was arrested for farting in class and charged with disrupting a school function. In another case, a Florida teen was arrested for farting in class and turning off other students' computers. He was charged with disrupting school functions and released to his mother. Making memes. A 17-year-old student at Tullahoma High School in Tennessee posted 3 satirical memes about the principal on his personal Instagram account during summer vacation. Upon returning to school, the student was suspended for 3 days.
Based on 2 policies. One, prohibiting social media posts that result in the embarrassment, demeaning, or discrediting of a staff or student. The second policy cited was conduct unbecoming of a wildcat.
In July 2023, the student filed a federal lawsuit against the Tullahoma City School District, the principal and vice principal, alleging that the suspension violated his First Amendment right to free speech. I'm with Stupid in Queensland, Australia. A man named Ian Fogarty was arrested and charged with public nuisance for wearing an I'm with Stupid t-shirt while standing next to people from the Liberal National Party campaign.
An altercation reportedly broke out when one of the staffers took issue with the shirt.
The man apparently ran a parody Twitter account for the Queensland Premier. Needless to say, the officers were very careful which side they stood on while arresting him, not returning a video. James Myers was arrested in 2016 for failing to return a blockbuster VHS movie originally rented 14 years prior in 2002. The film in question, the 2001 Tom Green film, Freddy Got Fingered.
The guy brings me to the back of the car and he goes, "Sir, I don't know how to tell you this, but there's a warrant for your arrest from 2002. Apparently you rented a movie, Freddy Got Fingered, and you never returned it."
It happened when he was pulled over because one of his taillights was out. After 25 minutes of the officer running his license, he was arrested on a misdemeanor. There had been a warrant out on him since 2002. Luckily, the charges were eventually dropped.
But they're not focusing on the crimes that I think they should be focusing on.
War paint. In 2023, a 13-year-old boy was suspended from school for 2 days for wearing war paint at a high school football game. The reason given was that his black makeup constituted blackface. The Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression has called for the school to clear the student's record, but the school district has not publicly responded to this request. The student's family is reportedly considering legal action. Food fight. After a food fight in Texas intensified, leading to a stampede, 10 students were charged with starting it. Authorities charged them with inciting a riot, a serious criminal offense.
I saw corn, slushy, burritos.
It was a rowdy food fight. I mean, there were plates all over the floor.
Similarly, in 2009, a food fight at a charter school in Chicago led to the arrest of 25 students who were charged with misdemeanor reckless conduct. Pledge of Allegiance. In 2019, an 11-year-old in Florida refused to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, citing it racist and offensive to black people. It escalated until the substitute teacher called the police. The student was arrested and charged with misdemeanor. The charges against the student were eventually dropped, and the student's family pursued a civil rights lawsuit against the school district.
You cannot legally, by the way, force anyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Similar incidents have happened, including when one teacher blasted Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA at a student who refused to recite the anthem and asked the class to write an essay about how the song made them proud to be in America. Pranks. A 14-year-old hacked into the school's computer system to plant an image of 2 men kissing on the computer of a teacher he didn't like. The kid later admitted he had seen the teacher input a password that he later used. He was charged with a felony cybercrime.
I wasn't really thinking. I was just kind of really annoyed at the teacher that day.
Possession of SpaghettiOs. Ashley Huff was jailed for weeks after police mistook SpaghettiOs residue on her spoon for methamphetamine. Faulty field tests led to her wrongful arrest, and she was only released after more thorough lab results cleared her.
Huff's lawyers are talking about suing for malicious prosecution and unlawful arrest.
Not wearing a seatbelt. Gail Atwater was pulled over in Texas for failing to wear a seatbelt. Instead of receiving a ticket, she was arrested and taken to jail, an event event that led to a Supreme Court ruling allowing warrantless arrests for minor infractions. Littering. Brandon Ambergy spent nearly a week in jail after flicking a cigarette onto a busy street. His arrest was part of a troubling trend in Albuquerque, where police routinely jailed individuals for littering, often those struggling with mental health or substance abuse issues. Jaywalking. Scott Miller was arrested in Oregon for crossing the street outside of a crosswalk. A police officer tackled him, handcuffed him, and held him for 30 minutes before issuing a ticket. A later lawsuit found the arrest unlawful under state law. Having homemade soap. In 2013, Annadelle Cruz and Alexander Bernstein were arrested in Pennsylvania when police mistook 2 bars of homemade soap for cocaine. After a field test returned a positive result, they were charged with cocaine trafficking and spent a month in jail. Subsequent lab tests revealed the substance was harmless soap, not drugs.
Unwilling to wash their hands of the matter, the couple is now looking to take the Lehigh County PD to the cleaner.
Profanity. Wesley Force was arrested in North Carolina simply for saying the F word in public. Public cursing is banned in New Bern under a section of code titled Profanity and Boisterous Conduct. Though initially released, a judge later sentenced him to 10 days in jail, which he served under house arrest with an ankle monitor. Spitting. Joseph Stoiber was arrested in Florida after spitting chewing tobacco onto the ground while being stopped by police. He was jailed and later released on $250 bail. Officers involved were later disciplined for misconduct. Loitering. Loitering arrests have historically been used to target homeless individuals. In one extreme case in the 80s, a man in Florida spent 13 months in jail after being arrested for loitering alone. Twerking. A homeless woman in Florida was arrested for twerking in front of a school bus while allegedly shouting profanities. She was later released after posting a $250 bond. This happened on another occasion when a month earlier, an unrelated video showed a woman being arrested by an undercover cop in Orlando for twerking outside a bar. Worshipping too loud. In South Carolina, Pastor Johnny Clark was sentenced to 2 weeks in jail for violating noise restrictions during his church's lively Pentecostal services. Police had responded to over 50 complaints from neighbors about loud music and amplified instruments, which Clark continued using despite a prior injunction. He was later released. Possession of Jolly Ranchers. Love Olaunji-Ojo, 25, and 2 friends were arrested in New York when police mistook their Jolly Ranchers for meth. A faulty field test led to them spending 24 hours in jail before further lab tests cleared them.
Officers who stopped and searched him reportedly said it was, quote, only a matter of time before they found something.
The young man later won a $33,000 lawsuit settlement against the NYPD. Ticket to heaven. Tito and Amanda Watts managed to convince people that they could buy their way into heaven by selling fake golden tickets, only $99 each.
Police have said that people can sell tickets to heaven, but they misrepresented the product. They said,
Wait, hold on.
Wait.
As they were arrested, Tito kept swearing that the tickets were real, claiming that Jesus gave them to him behind a KFC so they could raise money to go to space in order to smoke cocaine. The police confiscated thousands of dollars in cash, 5 crack pipes, and, get this, a baby alligator. Earthquake. When a 6.3 earthquake struck the city of L'Aquila, Italy, 309 people tragically died, but when citizens of the town went looking for someone to blame, 6 scientists were arrested and charged with manslaughter for failing to predict the quake. Prior to the quake, after a series of tremors, the scientists had told the public the probability of an earthquake was low. Globally, researchers rallied in support of the geologists, even sending letters to the Italian president.
Now scientists are going to be saying, if we get it wrong, even in an inexact science like trying to predict earthquakes, which we cannot do accurately, will we all end up in court?
After 13 months, the judge determined that the geologists were innocent and they were set free.
Interestingly, in the courtroom, there was no triumphalism, no emotion of any kind when the verdict was and sentence were delivered.
Taco Bell. This couple faced felony charges for getting into a fight in a Taco Bell. 51-year-old Suzanne Hurlvert hurled a Taco Bell burrito supreme into the back of her husband, Carl's head. This prompted Carl to stab her in the hand with a Taco Bell fork. The couple had been fighting over his habit of drinking at a bar every night. Carl was charged with aggravated battery related to domestic violence, while Suzanne was charged with domestic violence-related battery. Building a clock. In 2015, 14-year-old Ahmed Mohammed brought a clock to school that he had rebuilt and put inside a suitcase to show his engineering teacher. Mistaken for a bomb by his English teacher, it led to his arrest and interrogation. Public outcry over Islamophobia followed, and charges were quickly dropped. Ahmed's father later pulled his children from schools in the area, but positive came from it too. Barack Obama invited Ahmed to the White House over Twitter.
You make me excited and you make me inspired.
Ahmed met briefly with Barack Obama and got to spend the night with some of the brightest minds in American science.
Ahmed also won the American Muslim of the Year award.
Ladies and gentlemen, the American Muslim of the Year award recipient, Ahmed Muhammad.
Thanks for watching. Let us know of any stories we missed out on. Please subscribe for more.